Good morning. How is everyone doing with the heat? I have been getting the crock pot going today so that I can keep the temperature down in the house. I do have window air conditionings, but I don't care for them too much. So I'm making a beef stew today. I make mine from scratch. And can't get the bag open. Sometimes that can be a pain in the butt. Oh, all right. So with my 4 potatoes, 4 carrots, and 4 celery sticks, and half an onion, and seasoning, I just throw it all in there with stewing meat. You don't have to use beef. I've known people to use turkey and make a good stew. Whatever you may want to use is your option on a meat. Today I'm using stewing beef. So I figured it's a good day to make this and talk to people about staying hydrated with these extreme heat warnings and to find ways to stay cool. And limit your physical activity, especially during the peak hours. Everyone has a peak hour for heat, the time of day when the temperature is the highest. But remember to drink plenty of fluids, not just water. Seek air conditioning spaces and wear light clothing. So, when it comes to drinking water, like drink you some water every 2 hours, or when you feel thirsty. And I'm not saying a bunch of water at one time. Sometimes that can make your stomach feel uncomfortable. You really want to watch the sugary drinks and caffeinated drinks at this time, and alcohol, okay? They can dehydrate you. I would suggest Propel because of the electrolytes. Some sports drinks have it, but they can be high in sugar. Try anything that will replace the salts you are losing. Now, there's many different ways that you can stay cool. You could spend time in an air-conditioned place like the library, shopping malls, community centers. It's okay, Penny. It's just a phone. You can spend time in front of a fan if you don't have air conditioning. Take cool showers or bath. That's suggested. And if you must be outside, seek the shade. Avoid prolonged sun exposure. You want to be careful there. See, you can use the fan to circulate in your home. They always say don't sit in front of a fan, you know, that it can cause dehydration. And as a person who has had issues in life of dehydration, I gotta say, I've never had that problem. But usually it would be, you got a cool wet rag around your neck if you're going to do something like that. And I'm not sitting on top of it either, but you got to watch it with them personal fans, I guess. I know if you take a fan and you don't have no air conditioning and you darken that window and put the fan in front of the window, not in the window, the fan will let light in. But put it on the floor in front of that window. Crack that window, no more than 2 inches. And then take another fan and go across the room to another window or across your home where there's another window and put in an exhaust fan. Exhaust fans really do work to pull humidity out of your house, which can increase the heat in your, the heat in your house on hot days. I mean, if you got something you got to do that day, you've got to do it. But if you don't, see if you can reschedule it to another day. Due to the heat, sometimes they come up unexpectedly. I'm always looking at monthly projections of weather to know when I want to go travel somewhere or do something, because the humidity is like breathing water to me, so I try to stay away from that scenario. I do like the heat. Today it'll be 96 degrees and the humidity will make it feel like 104. And that's because of the humidity. Well, we're supposed to get a storm today. I don't know if that will happen. I know that people going out and about should wear SPF 15 or higher lotion, especially on exposed skin. Wear a wide hat with a brim at least to protect your face and head. Wear lightweight, loose-fitting, light-colored clothing. You will stay cooler whether you're in the house or out of the house. Know the signs of related illnesses in the heat extreme, like the symptoms of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. That would be dizziness, headache, nausea, muscle cramps. And if you experience any of them, you should seek immediate medical attention. And if you cite it in someone else, that may have had these issues before or are elderly, you should check on them often. Your friends, your neighbors. Medical conditions can make heat extremes worse. And if you know someone that's living alone, please check on them. Watch out for your pets and ensure they have access to water and shade. Don't risk their health by leaving them outside longer than they should be. They need shade, they need water, just like we do. A lot of times animals will not eat during hot weather. That's okay as long as they're drinking water. I know sometimes Penny don't want to eat until after the sun goes down, and she's like, I want something to eat in the morning, I want something to eat in the evening, but these last few days she's been waiting till after the sun goes down. It happens more and more with us when we get older, and some of us just aren't aware of certain health factors. But if you have family history of it, you should take precautions. Growing older, I'm telling you, comes with a number of major life changes. And science does put information out there to help inform us of what we can do in the here and now. And sometimes we can eliminate or forestall most of them family history, genetics, the features of aging, and promote a better health span, not just lifespan. Like you should know how to build muscle. Muscle mass is the best predictor of health and longevity. Muscle tissue, it releases its own chemical called myokines, which can have benefits that span cognition, immunity, and anti-cancer activity. By performing regular resistant-based exercises that prioritizes physical strength, we can also delay the loss of bone density and the risk of physical injuries. Now, vitamin D is commonly known as the sunshine vitamin and is in fact a critical hormone that helps maintain healthy bones and boost our immune system and improves our cardiovascular function. With age, we produce less vitamin D in our skin and can become less efficient. So if we don't spend enough time outdoors, our risk of vitamin D deficiency may increase. You can take all the vitamin D supplements you want, but unless you get in that sun, it's not activated in a prime way to help your bones, to help your muscles. I take my vitamin D only in the winter. Get it built up, and then I'm out in the sun. The rest of my vitamins, I want coming from my foods, healthy foods. Now, you have neurodegenerative diseases, which can be unsettling aspect of aging because the conditions are increasingly prevalent in those with diabetes, suggesting that the brain's blood flow and energy supply may be compromised. Now, I have told you before that cholesterol, thyroid, and your glucose level work together. Generally, if one is offset, you're going to get one of the other ones or all three. Research has indicated that regular physical activity, a healthy whole foods diet, and staying intellectually active could at least slow the rate of the decline. Also, raising your oxygen levels with deep breathing exercises outside is suggested daily if you live below a 1,000 foot altitude. See, as we get older, major arteries can become thicker and less flexible, leading to increased blood pressure. And it puts an undue strain on your heart. A good regular practice, such as yoga or meditation, has shown to stem the release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. And you can do that too with reading and watching a good movie, interacting socially with other people, conversation, But when we are released from these stress hormones, there's less chance of us feeling this fight or flight state as you get stressed. It can, okay, with people with clogged arteries, if they get stressed, they could have a heart attack, or their blood pressure could go uncontrollable. So by keeping our brain cognitive, we will reduce the risk and improve blood flow, in those areas. Omega-3 does help to improve blood flow, okay? But as of anything, social interaction is very important for seniors because it alleviates most of the decline of physical and mental decline. And we want to be able to take care of ourselves, so we need all the brain power we can get, I turned 50 and I'm like, oh, my metabolism is slowing down, I'm gaining weight, blah, blah, blah. And you hear that often with other people, And an aging body becomes less effective at using energy. So, it's like, okay, I don't feel like doing anymore and everything. And then because you're slowing down, and then that slowing down is not effectively using our energy levels that we need to maintain good blood circulation. So we need to get in a routine, basically, of doing certain things like walking at least at a certain time for so long. I think I read 270 minutes a week is very good for someone in their 60s. I set my timer on my stove and I walk around the house in the wintertime, or I set the timer on my phone and Penny and I go for walks, because in the winter we don't walk far. It's cold. She don't like it. So, but we use that energy. We get that blood circulation. Our arteries will be a lot better, and there's less chance of getting type 2 diabetes. At the first sign that I was going to be a diabetic too, I said, and I put myself in check. And I really, really have put myself in check on a lot of things this year. I've been watching. If you remember, that was my word for the year, watching. So by maintaining our muscle mass and reducing sugar consumption, we are supporting our hormonal health, preserving our metabolism, and keeping our vitality into our advancing years. You know the saying, you are what you eat, so research before you ingest anything. And that goes for medications too. I'm telling you, there's some stuff in there. Oh, no wonder I've always preferred homeopathic or holistic treatment. See, ask yourself, how do our gut and brain communicate with one another, and how do they influence the metabolic process? How does that influence our behavior and our aging process? The gut transit, time, that is the rate at which food moves through our gastrointestinal tract. It's essential for digestion, nutrients absorption, and waste removing. So if you eat something today, how many days does it take to be digested, metabolized, before you defecate it? Learn to follow your body's mood, because maybe you're eating too much food because you don't want to get backed up and start causing health issues, stressing out your gut system. Too slow, actually, of a metabolic rate, you could end up with constipation. Too fast, you could risk diarrhea. And they're just coming out, I think it was in December, when I realized to time my gut and the whole process. And I started losing a lot of weight once I got that in check too. See, the process in the steps to assess how diet, lifestyle, stress, even microbiotics affect our complicated system. Several vitamins play a crucial role in both nerve and gut health, with vitamin B12 and vitamin B6 being particularly important to our guts. Vitamin B12 is essential for nerve function and red blood cell formation, while also aiding in the breakdown of fatty acids and amino acids during digestion. You want your food digested, so chew your food real good, okay? Vitamin B6 is vital for your nerve function and helps regulate the nervous system. If you don't have enough B6, your brain ain't going to get signals, or it's going to miss far signals to your brain. So you want a healthy nervous system path, and so a lot of people are getting success from the new studies for fibromyalgia. Nerves endings repair themselves, so keep that in mind. Also, vitamin D and vitamin C also contribute to your gut health. Spending time in nature can have a calming and restorative effect on the nervous system. It reduces stress, regulates heart rate and blood pressure, and lowers the cortisol levels, promoting a sense of relaxation and well-being. Additionally, nature exposure can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the rest and digestion functions, helping to counteract the effects of the sympathetic nervous system, which is in essence the flight or fight response. And there's a lot of people out there that could aggravate you, but you got to learn to handle it in a good way so it doesn't stress you out. So you need to get the cortisol levels lower, so you can take things more readily. See, spending time outdoor exposes you to fresh air, which typically has a higher oxygen level and lowers levels of pollutants than indoor air. This is helping to promote healthier lung function. The fresh air helps to clear out accumulated pollutants and irritants from the lungs, potentially improving breathing. Now, if you live in a city and there's a lot of smog, I'm going to tell you right now, go where there's nature. Do some deep breathing exercises. I wouldn't suggest sitting at a park that's on a street corner where there's vehicle exhaust blowing all the time. But I'd find a nice shady area with a good breeze and the smell of nature to do breathing exercises. Tai Chi is a lot involvement of your breathing exercises, by the way, too. Fresh air and sunlight also contributes to the production of vitamin D and vitamin B, which is important for overall health and immune function. This is what I'm saying. You can take all these vitamins you want, but unless you get out in the sun, it don't get activated. And unless you don't exercise, they don't get used, and they can actually become a toxin, some of them, especially vitamin A. And sometimes if you subject yourself to certain things out in nature, you'll see that your allergies are lessened, So histamine, one way or the other, can harm you, can raise your cortisol level too, by the way. That's why I decided, well, I'm going to stick with Benadryl for allergies and Flonase and stop allergy pills altogether. And with any healthcare routine, consult your doctor or your NP. Always have yearly blood workups done. And those include checking your level of protein, vitamin D and Bs, cortisol, thyroid, cholesterol, and glucose. You're not having a good blood workup unless you have all of them. Then you can discuss your medications that are suggested with your NP or doctor. The side effects, read everything. You're going to be putting it in your mouth. And they are man-made chemicals, and chemicals are toxins. That's why it's important, if you're taking medication, you drink water. Lots of water. Ask about certain vitamins or homeopathic medicines you could try first instead of a chemical drug. Research all your supplements and vitamins. I love to go to St. Jude's. I get up-to-date, spot-on information from them. You need to know with these blood works tests what nutrients you are missing in your diet. As we age, we absorb less as our metabolism slows down. I hope this helps those looking for answers to why they're not feeling as strong as in prior years. But remember, doing your own personal research helps you get things back on track and keeps your brain actively working. We don't need those brain cells inactive in life. We just don't. Have a great day. I'm going to finish my beef stew now. And get it done so I can put an air conditioner on. So, I love you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.